You're in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. Dave Lapham was on the call. 34-23 Bengals win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a 6-game winning streak. Dave, that was a game of two halves.
No doubt. It was what I've been saying here in the locker room after the football game. It's I said it during the broadcast as well. It was a Charles Dickens special. Instead of a tale of two, cities, it was a tale of two halves. And it was incredible. I have never, ever seen, that I can recall, any level of football, 5 straight possessions, starting with the blown call and the punt that snapped that bounced off Giovanni Bernard's head. And that goes as not as a fumble, it goes as a stop on 4 downs, but it's a turnover because that didn't end in a kick, a punt, extra point, or field goal. And it goes interception, fumble, interception on 5 straight possessions. I mean, the Bengals had unbelievable field position. They started the Tampa Bay 17. They started the Tampa Bay 8, the 21, the 25, the 25. That is absolutely crazy.
What a game by our guy, DJ Reader. He comes on the trenches, and, he ends up having probably the game of his life.
Yeah, I mean, he said during the time that we had him on the podcast, said, you're a Pro Bowler. I mean, it's a fraud if you're not. And he said, well, I don't have any sacks yet. And, you sack the GOAT, that's all you need. You're in. Well, he got a half sack and forced a fumble. In so doing, punching the football out of there. So, yeah, DJ Reader played at a high level. Logan Wilson and Pratt, again, like we talked about, being strong up the middle defensively, like in baseball with your catcher, shortstop, second baseman, center fielder. You got what's going on with the Bengals. DJ Reader, B.J. Hill played a good football game again as well. And then Logan Wilson, Pratt, and you have Bates and Bell. I mean, they're very, very solid up the middle defensively. And, 17 points allowed. And to get the field goal right before the half was big as well. Put yourself in a situation there where, you're getting in some kind of rhythm, some kind of timing, some kind of momentum. But like I said, the craziness of 4 straight possessions. And again, I was reading it wrong. Tampa Bay's 16-yard line, their 31, their 13, and their 39-yard line. 4 straight possessions. That is sick. That is crazy. And credit to the defense for giving the Bengals an opportunity. Credit for the Bengals for capitalizing on the opportunities offensively, and special teams doing their job as well. Crispin has a coffin corner deal at the 2-yard line, backing them up, making that an impossibility, that kind of a drive. So everybody did exactly what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, we have to give a shout out to the kickoff team as well. A couple times Tampa Bay decided to run it back, and the special teams just did a great job keeping behind the 20. And you said in your keys, next man up, and that is no mistaken of guys like Sam Hubbard went out of this game. But a guy like Trey Flowers, who came onto this team a year ago, big interception. That was, just an unbelievable play. And he was just one of many guys who stepped up with several guys, especially on defense, out of this football game.
Yeah, I mean, Dax Hill had to play slot corner because you have Hilton down, and you have the backup to Hilton is down as well with a broken wrist, and then you have Dax Hill has to play in that position, and Alan George is activated from the practice squad. He has to play at the corner position with Cam Taylor Britt. That's the only fly in the ointment in this football game. Is December football, these kind of things happen, and you lose players. Well, how severe is the calf injury to Sam Hubbard? How severe is the shoulder injury to Cam Taylor Britt? But Jalen Davis couldn't go in the slot either with that broken wrist. So other guys had to step up, and man, you're going against Tom Brady. And he's spreading the field. They're running 4 wides and spreading the field and making you make plays. And they just handled it at halftime. They came in at halftime. There was no panic. There was just all poise, all composure. Same thing for Joe Burrow offensively. No panic, all poise, all composure. And Jamar Chase had to deal with a tactic that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers corners were grabbing. I mean, they were just grabbing and riding receivers past that 5-yard area. We can have hands on people. They're 10 yards down the field doing that, and then at the very end would pull their hands off and put their hands back. And if the official wasn't looking, by the time they looked at the receiver after the ball's thrown, it's too late. The damage is already done, and they're not making any calls. So you're going to have to adjust and adapt to that. And I think the league's going to take a good look at it and make sure that it's not allowed to happen, because that's illegal. That's in the rule book. After a 5-yard time frame, a 5-yard period, you got to get your hands off of receivers. That's the rule right in the National Football League rule book. So we'll see. And guys had to fight through all kinds of stuff that way, and that's the way it is when you got a receiver core like the Bengals have. Sometimes tactics is going to be employed that you're going to have to work through, and that's what guys did tonight.
You're in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. If you're looking for a new career, be sure to check out firststarlogistics.com, as they're looking for not just brokerage agents, but also trucking agents across the country, experienced drivers across the country, and also positions at their corporate office. Dave, one guy you got to be very happy for is Mr. Wilcox gets his first career touchdown, and he does it back home.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big deal for him. He got a lot of, we had him on shows during the course of the week, and he got a lot of tickets for friends and family. It was big for him to come down here and play football, and played his high school football in the area, and played collegiately, as well in the state of Florida. So I mean, this was a big deal, and for him to show out and have that touchdown reception was big. Tip of the cap to him. I also like to tip the cap to Tyler Boyd. He played hurt. I mean, he played in pain. The dude went out there with a dislocated finger that had a compound dislocation. The bone came through the skin. They were worried about infection. They had to surgically repair it. He had an apparatus on that thing to protect it, and went out there and played. And he's blocking on the perimeter, keeping that right hand out of there because it was pretty painful. But he's doing a good job of it, catching the football. He caught a touchdown pass that was huge. I mean, hats off to Tyler Boyd and how tough he is.
Yeah, great job today from the big three, Chase, Boyd, and Higgins. 17 catches, 128 yards, 3 touchdowns. And the offense, you look at that first half, 20 total offensive plays. By the time we got to the final, the Bengals had ran off 62 offensive plays, and maybe none bigger than what they did down the stretch and controlling the clock and we talked about the Wilcox touchdown. That was a long drive. That was like over almost a 7-minute drive.
Yeah, well, you had 3 straight 3-and-outs in the first half offensively. 3 plays for no yards, 3 plays for -6, 3 plays for 7 yards, a 9-play stretch netted you 1 yard. That's not getting any rhythm and timing down offensively, and the worm turned in the second half, like we talked about. And then in the second half, 4 plays turnover, 4 plays losing on downs on 4th down when they botched up the punt, 5 plays interception, 3 plays fumble, 3 plays fumble. I mean, it totally flipped. First possession, the fourth quarter, 3 plays interception. I've never seen, like I said, I've never seen a game where it was a tale of two halves to the extent that it was a tale of two halves in this football game, any level of football whatsoever.
Yeah, crazy weekend of football across the whole NFL. The Bengals now 6-game winning streak, moved to 10-4, sit atop the AFC North. I think in that 3rd spot as far as the playoffs right now. Dave, short week. Talk about the toughness of coming back with all these injuries. You said questions. What's going to happen with Hubbard? What's going to be with Cam Taylor-Britt and the other guys who missed this game Saturday? 1 o'clock kickoff Eastern against New England on the road Christmas Eve. That's a tough turnaround.
It is, but that's December football. I'm sure the New England Patriots are nursing some injuries and some wounds as well. I mean, that's the schedule. That's what you've been handed. That's what you have roster depth for. And I think that the Cincinnati Bengals roster depth is as good as there is in the entire league, and they keep proving it. And like I said, their whole mantra is, I don't want to be the one to let everybody down. Everybody just continues to make plays.
Yeah, if you've not seen how New England lost today against the Raiders, you are going to you're just not going to believe it. What an ending.
Well, the Patriots one thing you can count on with Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, at this stage of the season, when you're in October and September and October, he feels out his football team. He tries to see what his team's capable of and what it's not. And this time of year, he's got a ton of stuff. He's going to have a game plan out there that you haven't seen yet, and that's Bill Belichick.
Dave, when you get a team that's winning like this 6-game winning streak, is there pressure that mounts with each win? Or is this team, because of something they did a year ago, that they got on that hot streak, that they just feel that they can keep this thing riding all the way to a deep run in the playoffs?
Yeah, they just want to go 1-0 as many times as they possibly can. Because right now, if they go 1-0 the remaining games of the season, they're going to be guaranteed the number 2 seed. If Kansas City loses one football game, they're the number 1 seed. So that's all that's on their minds right now.
Dave, we know you got to get on that bus, get that plane back from warm Tampa, get up here to chilly Cincinnati. But we'll see you this week in the trenches, brought to you by First Star Logistics.
Thanks, Dave.
At First Star Logistics, we're a very strict company that really puts the pressure on our employees. Breaks? What are those?
That's what I'm talking about, Icky. Get the body right, then the mind's right. You know,
gotta get that body right.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Become a star with a chance to earn the highest commission percentages in the industry as a freight broker agent. Check out firststarlogistics.com.